Hello, good people. Welcome to our
Woo!
show. Hello, bad people. Welcome to our show. Hello, guys. Welcome. Today we are going to discuss more about content creation because it's very important today. And I remember many years ago I tried to game the system, but today I only pay attention to create high quality content for my audience. And I know it's tough to create content at scale when you need to create content on all social media for Google. And it's hard, especially today when we have AI. I'm so excited to discuss this topic with Lyndsay Phillips. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me. Yeah, and so you're on the other side. I love talking to people when they're like somewhere else in the world. Like it's so weird. But
Yeah.
it's just amazing that we can connect this way, you know what I mean, with podcasts and so forth.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I cooperate with many people globally. I hire people globally, outsource
Yeah.
many of them. Yeah, I have great team in the US, in Canada, in
Nice.
India, in Ukraine, in many countries. And I think it's a big mistake when companies ignore hiring and finding people in different countries because many Americans are expect can live in Thailand, many other countries. So
Yeah.
if some places make you happy, why you need to ignore those places? Lindsay, before
Yeah.
we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, and background, and anything that can help our listeners to learn more about you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the online space for probably I guess 15 years now. And I used to be just a VA, and then I changed and morphed to content marketing, and then I got into podcasting, obviously having my own show, guesting on shows, helping my clients produce and promote their shows. And then I kind of like niche down even more to the content part of podcasting. It's my favorite part, and leveraging your episodes and your long form content so that you can attract your ideal client, you know, nurture them, showcase your expertise and your authority, and obviously convert to so you get more leads and clients.
Yeah, awesome. I agree. And can you tell where to start? I mean, like, in most cases, I help SMB, uh, and they wanna to compete with big brands, and we usually do it. And I remember when we promoted a website about weight loss supplements. In the
Yeah.
top 10 results are only billion-dollar companies, big companies like Shakeology, but we found the way how to compete with them, and we created a lot of content, and yeah, we increased traffic from 100K to 700K in 2 years. We spent so much time to do it. Uh, and I usually tell my clients we don't need to compete to anyone. You need to think about your strong side. If you have your strong side, don't care about best practices. Don't care about if your competitors can do something that you can't. Think about your strong side, about your audience. Can you tell your methods how to compete with big brands, small companies?
I know, and it feels hard. And I think sometimes we focus so much on what other people are doing
Yeah.
that it holds us back from really stepping into, you know, the best version of ourselves and really thinking about, you know, what is our brilliance? What are we good at? What makes us so special, so to speak? Um, and I've been guilty of that myself, and it really limits you, where it's like, think, just focus on yourself, what your differentiators are, what makes you different, what makes you unique. You know, think about why your clients are working with you, what they love about you, why they would rather work with you than somebody else, and just kind of like focus on that, and don't be afraid to, as corny as it sounds, to be yourself. I think when you try to be someone that you're not, um, it ends up coming across really kind of strange, and you're actually going to repel people versus attract your ideal client of who you really want. Because if you have a client right now that they just think you are like the bomb, they are like, oh my God, I'm so glad I found you. You helped me out. You want more of those because they make you feel good. You love what you do. So just focus on that part of it. And then your content really is all about attracting that ideal client that you want. And like when you think about all those brands, those big brands, their ideal client aren't necessarily your ideal client. So it's like, why try to compete with them and why try to market in a way that they do um, when you're comparing apples and oranges in that respect?
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
However,
Yeah.
it is good idea to get inspiration. Like, let's say they are, I don't know, you saw some posts or some reels where you're like, ooh, that was creative. Like, you can take inspiration and do something similar because you think it's going to attract your ideal client. Or, you can like a hot topic came up and you're like, oh, that's a juicy topic. I never thought about diving into it. I'm going to go live on Facebook tomorrow and talk about it and see what other people think. So you can take inspiration. You just don't want to copy them.
Awesome. Ben commented, always be yourself because everyone else is already taken. Nice.
That's
I
true.
Ben, I love your quote. Yeah, yeah, and I agree. For me, it's very important to be yourself because if you copy others, it's hard to copy others.
Oh,
And in the second, you can be bad copy of others.
yeah.
And I see when content creators give up because they copy best practices. For example, best practices can tell you need to film short videos. If I hate this format, why I need to film short videos if I'm good with writing? Many great authors like Seth Godin, like Stephen King, they don't care about short videos because they are good
No.
with writing, So, so yeah, I completely agree with you. I love it, and sometimes I even think more about myself than about my audience. Of course, I love my audience, but I wanna create format that I like
Yeah.
and to cover with my audience because I see when, for example, most marketing guys can tell you need to find where your audience is if,
Yeah.
for example, if my audience is on Instagram but I don't like Instagram, why I need to jump on Instagram? I can do it on
Mhm.
LinkedIn, so
I
yeah,
know.
yeah, I love it. It's
I
awesome.
know.
And
And I want to
yeah, yeah,
piggyback off of something that you said. Is like, you also don't want to spread yourself too thin. If you're trying to be like everything and you're trying to be on TikTok and LinkedIn and YouTube and all those things, like, you're going to be exhausted and you're not going to be happy. And then you're also taking time away from, having sales calls, generating revenue, creating new content, whatever that may be. And it's exhausting. Like, you will never see me on TikTok. I don't care how fantastical it gets. I cannot and I refuse. And some people rave about it, but I'm like, that's fine for you. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm going to stick with LinkedIn. And that's where I get in good engagement and focus on it. And yeah, so you totally have to like think about yourself.
yeah, awesome. And I think many content creators try to copy Gary Vaynerchuk, because he can cover all social media platforms to have 10 million followers. But if we analyze how Gary achieved everything, he started on Twitter. He started to tweet content many years ago on Twitter, and he shared the story many times that he did it from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. every single day during 7 years. And for example, in 2020, I decided to grow my business to English speaking countries. And what I did, I created content for all social media: Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook,
Mhm.
YouTube, TikTok. And I failed. My best results were like 5, 10 followers a day,
Yeah.
a few hundred views. Then I switched my attention to LinkedIn to get great results.
Yeah.
to grow my audience because I pay attention to one social media. And Gary Vee has a team. Today he can because he can extend
Yeah.
repurpose content everywhere, and he mentioned he has a team. So if you have only two hands like me, yeah, focus in one social media or one platform.
Yeah.
Lindsay, I want to ask about creating high quality content. It's subjective, it's hard, but can you explain and describe what quality means?
That's a great question. No one's ever actually asked me that. But yeah, because you don't want to create content for the sake of creating it and just rambling and it not serving anyone and attracting your ideal client. Um, to me, I always go back to like the roots. Like, think about what are the biggest pain points that your clients or prospects or whoever, like, what do they have in their day to day? Like, if you're, I don't know, in weight loss, let's say, maybe they're like, oh my God, that chocolate cake is in my fridge and I just can't forget about it. Like, how do you get over that mindset? So, like, you think about like literally what they're going through in their day. For me, it's like people that have a podcast and they're trying to promote it. They're like, I can't understand AI. I can't understand the tech. There's too many platforms to think about. There's like whatever. So you think about all those obstacles that they have, and then you can speak to that and give them solutions and tips. And also think about like what is it that they're touching and using? What products do they play with? What if they're using project management tools or if they're using a video editor or whatever it may be, what tips can you give to make it easier on them? So always think about the solutions that you want to give them. And you also want to like do it in a way that's going to showcase your expertise, and that relates to the service that you're actually doing. Like, yes, I know a lot about like lead magnets and landing pages and conversion rates and all that kind of stuff. There is a lot of information that's inside of my head, and I can happily give it and serve people, but it's not going to serve me. I don't have services about lead magnets and creating those funnels. I may do it for a VIP client here and there, but I don't do that on a regular basis. So why talk about it and attract someone that wants that if I don't have that service to support them? And it doesn't make sense for me for my funnel. So you kind of have to look at both sides. Um, the other good tip, especially when it comes to YouTube, is thinking about like FAQs. Same with like in the Google console, right? Like they want to know, they want people's questions to get answered easily. So, what questions do your clients ask you, or what questions did they ask when they first came to you? Like, let's say for me, like, how do you launch a podcast, or how do you schedule social media consistently? So thinking about all of those like FAQs that they are in their heads, then you can create content that addresses those. So that's a super easy way to start.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. Lindsay, let's talk about creating non-boring content. If we speak about high quality, it's important that your content can retain the audience. I mean, like as much as possible. And I love great marketing books that were written before digital. And because authors didn't care about satisfying algorithms, they care how to keep real people. And today, all platforms serve people, Google, LinkedIn. Uh, it's important to retain your audience. You can share value, you can provide great
Yeah.
insights, tips, but if it's boring, people leave. People bounce. According
Yes.
to data, 80% of users leave YouTube videos in the first 20 seconds.
I know.
If
Isn't that crazy?
yeah, if I open any video of Mr. Beast, he can win me for 20 minutes. I can't
Yeah.
stop
Yeah.
watching this video because he's amazing to retain me. Can you tell how to create content that can hook and
Yeah.
retain until the end?
I know, and it's gotten harder and harder and harder
Yeah.
over the years. It's like we have like the attention span of a gnat, but there's a few tactics though that you can do. And it also matters like which platform you're in. Like I find in LinkedIn, if you're more like opening up the floor for a conversation and it's like literally you're typing it as if you're like just chatting with someone, that is can bring someone into that conversation. Whereas Facebook, it might be more like short and sweet and like, here's a quick consumable. And obviously with Instagram, like Reels, and now YouTube with YouTube Shorts, um, it's just like different mediums. So you can't, it's not like there's one way that's going to like blanketly fix everything, right? So I'll talk about like YouTube Shorts and Reels real quick for a minute. Obviously, with those, when people are scrolling through the feed, that movement is going to capture their attention. I even do square videos in Facebook and LinkedIn because, again, it's just going to capture someone's attention. And there's like the little wave files that go across, and obviously captions so that people can read it. They may not necessarily hit that button to listen. They'll just want to like read the captions. So captions are really key. But I find too, I know for me, it also depends what kind of reel. If you've got like a B-roll reel, B-roll, I can't even say it anymore. B-roll reel. Yes. That it's just again something that's if you're in fashion, that obviously like beautiful imagery. If you're in design, beautiful imagery. But if you're like in my line of business, to me it would be more like the headline. So the headline at the top, so it grabs someone's attention of what that content is going to be about. I prefer something that is like hooking, like do this if you want this. Then they're like, "Oh, I want that result." So it just automatically psychologically invokes that curiosity factor, and they're going to want to listen because they're like, "Well, I need to know what the thing is." They don't have that closure. So invoking that sense of curiosity, or like the hottest trend today to, I don't know, boost your YouTube watches or whatever it may be. So people are like, "Oh, what's hot? What's new?" People always want to know those things, right? They don't want to
Mhm.
be missing out. So just thinking about the headlines that you're putting on the videos, so that you're hooking them in. So that's a couple of
Mhm.
tips, anyways.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Uh, Lindsay, let's talk about practice. I see when content creators give up. According to data, for example, new podcasters don't record more than 8 episodes because they can get results from the first seven. I have no idea how to do it. I recorded plus
Yeah.
600 episodes, to learn how to do it. And I remember this great advice from Mr. Beast. You need to film 100 bad videos. For example, great sportsmen, they usually start training from when they are small, practice every single day to achieve something. We can
Yeah.
see only competition when this person can win, but we don't see preparation. And I think it's the same with content creation. I can't
Mhm.
write a great article from first attempt. And I remember my first articles were terrible. I wrote a bunch of them, most of them terrible. I don't know even if I can find them today. But anyway,
I
it
know.
takes time to improve your quality step by step. As like kids when they're starting to walk, to
Mhm.
speak, it takes time, to get
It
results.
does.
So can you tell about practice? How to do it? How to be consistent with practice to achieve great results in the end?
Yeah, there's a few key ways, and it's hard, and I think we're so result driven as people that if we don't get results right away, we just instantly want to quit. And it's like, I remember years ago, I used to work with a few different companies, and they were like, "Oh, I didn't get any business from the social media post last week." I'm like, that's kind of like not the point. Well, it is the point, but like you can't just like put out 3 social media posts and expect to land like a 100K contract. Like it just doesn't work that way. yeah, you want to bring them into the funnel and what have you, but you can't have those expectations. And especially with podcasting, like you said, pod fade is nuts. So it's like having those expectations up front and really understanding what your goals are. And your goals is like with a podcast, if you were launching a podcast, like, yes, you want to get leads, but you also want to boost your authority. You also want brand exposure. You want visibility and like extend your reach. You want to make connections, networking, collaborations. So there's like all of these different goals and ideas that you have in your head, yet you sort of feel like, oh, I don't have X amount of downloads by the third episode, therefore I'm not successful, therefore I'm quitting. So it's like, what does success mean to you? What are your goals? And then make sure that your actions are helping you achieve those goals. And you can't expect to do it all at once, right? Sure, you might want like however many downloads per episode, but are you making connections? Are you getting a new connection? Is there a collaboration partner that you're working with? Is your social media streams growing? Are you getting more people on your e-list? Like you have to look at all of those different elements. So setting the expectations and really being clear on your goals. When it comes to kind of like, okay, once you've got that, like, how do I stay consistent and not like burn out and want to just like bail? Having systems. So if you, even if you're a guest on a podcast, if once that episode goes live, like you could publish it on your blog, get the video, raw video, make video clips out of it, make quotes, make carousels, make reels, share it on all your social channels, email your list. So make a list of all the things that you need to do, set up that task template and think, okay, I've got a VA, what can she help me with? What's really important to me? What should I do in this part? And what else should I delegate? And then as soon as you get a new podcast that's gone live, then it's like pass it off to your team. You do this, they do this, bing, it goes out. Systematic, you don't have to think about it. It doesn't feel like, oh my God, I don't have time. And then you just casually, it doesn't happen. And then the third is honestly outsource. If you are unable to do all of those moving pieces yourself or do them all well, or it's taking you away from things that are more important in your business, then it makes financial sense to have them handle that while you do the other stuff, because you do need to leverage that content, those opportunities, so that you get seen as an authority, get seen as an expert, because honestly, it will open up more doors for you to speak, get on other podcasts, extend your reach, and all those, and reach your goals.
Love it. Yeah, Lindsay, I love it. You unhided all my secrets right now. Because I only speak with you, but I do nothing else. My team can reach out to experts like you to invite them. My team can schedule these appointments. My team can create promo. My team can convert to
Yeah.
podcast episodes, almost everything. And if you ask me how, for example, they create promo videos, I don't know. I have no idea how they can do it.
Good.
Usually,
That's how it should be.
I usually tell them I need such promo. I can share my tips, but they handle almost everything. I
Yeah.
just speak, That's it. So yeah, and if you outsource great people better than you can get great results. For example, I often feel that I am jack of all trades. If you ask about my team that can cooperate with big companies, clients,
Mhm.
uh, almost everything do my team, but I search for these people. I
Yeah.
search for them, spend time to think, okay, you are much better than me. I need you.
Yeah, and you can't expect yourself like, I'm good at content marketing, but I'm not great at editing audio, and nor do I
Yeah.
want to. So I hand that off to someone else. Or like the accounting part of my business. I don't want to do accounting. Ew. Like, I'm going to hand it off to an expert so that I don't screw up and do something stupid and cost myself money. So it's like, yes, handing it off to like an expert that can do this one thing and do it really, really well. Not only do your shoulders drop and you're like, oh, thank God. But then it frees you up to like do other things that are more important to you.
Yeah, nice. I wanna ask more about overwhelming. Let me share a short story.
Mhm.
Um, One great author shared the story. She got email from another book author, and this book author complained that he couldn't sell his books for a long time, and he asked for advice what to do. He asked many other authors, and all of them replied perseverance, consistency, but he suffered a lot because he can't
Mm.
sell his books. And she replied to him, leave it. It's not for you. Leave. Don't write any word in your life. Uh, uh, but if you can't live without that, get back and start
Yeah.
writing. I think it's the same like people over watching TV. They can watch 6 hours a day, and people don't expect when someone will pay money for their hobbies. Usually they pay for TV shows and movies. Uh, and I think it's important to enjoy the process. If you don't enjoy, leave it. Can you tell about overwhelming? For example, if some content creators get this feeling, burning out, overwhelming, anything.
Mm.
So, what to do? Uh, how to calm down? I don't know how to take away the stress and keep going ahead.
It's a roller coaster, right? Like owning a business and like your business changes so much over the years and your role within your own business does and should change kind of like over the years. And scaling your business, like it's always evolving. I know for me, I had like a business coach and I had a mastermind and I just found that so helpful to keep me, like, level-headed and have that, like, someone to go to that you're like, "Hey, is this worthwhile for me to keep doing?" Or, like, because you second guess yourself all the time, right? Or, like, "What about this opportunity?" And then someone else and I've had this where they're like, yeah, but don't you do this and don't you like it better and don't you profit more from this? And I'm like, well, yeah, but all these things. And they're like, you're like looking at all of these things that don't really matter. Like focus and double down on this and just do that. And but like they just give advice and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And so it's like it just grounds you and makes you like think clearly and gives you different strategies and ideas. Um, and I've, like, not been in a mastermind over the past, I don't know, however many years, and so I'm stepping back into it because, yeah, you second guess yourself, you feel overwhelmed, you don't know certain solutions that might be right in front of your face, honestly. Um, so I find just, like, getting that support of people that understand your business, understand what you're doing, understand the ins and outs, and just kind of, like, just talking to other entrepreneurs, like and even hearing, like, they're like, "Yeah, oh my god, I went through that last year and it was painful." You're like, "Okay, thank you, it's not just me." Like, and it just takes that out of your head and like, "Okay, what are" and just talking it out, right? Like, "What are some of the solutions that I can do?" And then, like, checking it off. I just find that is so helpful.
Awesome, awesome. Lindsay, I wanna ask about topic that it's hard to ignore today about AI. That was simple
Yeah.
before, impossible tomorrow, and I
No.
think uh, in marketing everyone adapted to AI. Everyone, because I
Mhm.
spoke with people in accounting, including my two brothers, and they replied to me, nobody uses AI in accounting. Uh,
No.
yeah, they have great positions, good salary, money, but they don't adapt to AI. I don't know. I think it's a big mistake. Even if you can't do it, you need to play it to think how you can do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you tell about AI in content creation? How you use AI? Because we have many best practices, different strategies to find ideas, to write headlines, to generate content, don't generate content. So your tips
I
about that.
know. It has been a learning curve, I'll tell you, over the past number of months. Like, it's insane. But I have learned that it's so easy to go down a rabbit hole and then investigate and spend money on all of these tools, right? Where it's like, okay, rein it in a little. You know what I mean? Like try one tool and kind of explore. I love hearing other people's stories of like how they use it. So I'm like, what? You can do that? I'm like, cool, okay. And so just kind of like even just opening up your mind, like I went on to just chat GPT um to honestly I what did I put in? Like why don't podcast guests promote their episodes much? Cuz it's kind of annoying. And they're my target market. And then so I went in there and it gave me like a whole article of like reasons why they may not promote. So I turned that into a podcast episode. Obviously, it was more like an idea generator for me. And what I didn't realize until I was talking to Denise Wakeman, she was on my show and she has an AI success club. And she's like, you ask a question, but then you refine it with another question. Oh, but now give me this. Oh, I like this part. Can you expand on that? And then pull it. Like, so you keep having to like, it's all in the prompts, which I still don't fully have my head wrapped around sometimes. But the more questions you ask and for it to refine the results, then it gets better. But what I didn't realize is that you can't believe everything that it spits out. Like just because AI spits it out and it's like found on the internet or whatever, like it's not necessarily true. Like you got to like check your facts
Yeah.
and like back it up. So there's that part. So sometimes you think, is it really worth it? Like, am I spending less time? So it's hard to say. For me, I use it for show notes, for podcast episodes, for long form videos, but sometimes it says goofy things and or it's like sensational, right? Like unlocking the true secrets never before seen. And like it's just I'm like that is not how I speak. And so you do need to like tone it down. Maybe you can ask for it to generate it like a normal human being speaking. Um but you do need to read it and kind of like put in your own voice. So I use it as a tool. I don't take it copy and paste. And I certainly don't use it for social media posts. Have you ever gotten social media posts from AI before?
Yeah, I tried. I played. I tried, and I can't tell that I got great engagement, but it works. It works.
Yeah.
Because because I don't usually use AI to generate content from scratch. I can write a bad copy, very
Yeah.
bad copy with many grammar mistakes, and AI can fix all my mistakes. And
Yes, that's nice.
yeah, and of course I edit. I can't rely to anything that AI can write. I just read. If I'm satisfied, that's
Yeah.
okay. If I'm not, I just edit, change.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can play more. Sometimes I can even close the chat to open new chat, to play from scratch. It's part of the job, but if you write from scratch, it takes a lot more time. So
It does take longer, not gonna lie. But I'm very I guess it also depends on how your brain works. Like for me personally, I like writing. I'm decent at it. Can I do it for everyone? No. Did my team do it? Yes. But I find AI like it'll generate something and I'm like, "Ooh, I like that one sentence. That's really well written." But I'm going to use that, but then type in the rest of my own stuff myself. Or I will take it, edit
yeah.
it, rework it, and just kind of like make it more conversational. Because that's the thing, right? A lot of the what it spits out for AI, it feels very generic. And going
Mhm.
back to like what we said in the beginning of this live, it's like you want to be yourself. You want to be a person that's communicating and connecting with another person and
Mhm.
computer generated copy won't really do that. But it can inspire, or you can use like a hot sentence that's really like, oh, that's captivating. And kind of like rework it. So yeah, it's better than staring at a blank page for sure.
Yeah, awesome. I use AI a lot. It's not only about writing. We can help to create tools about forecast crypto, and it works well. So we usually create content about these topics because in investing and trading, companies can pay like 10K for nothing. Just give a few tips. And yeah,
Yeah.
you can get a lot of money on this field. So we pay attention a lot to investing, trading, crypto, and for example, we use press releases, and I edit them on ChatGPT. So I write bad copies, send to journalists after editing on ChatGPT,
Yeah.
and we got mentions on CNN, on
Sweet.
Bloomberg, yeah, Market Watch, Dow Jones.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But if you ask ChatGPT to write press release, you can get so generic press release. But if you collect data, write a bad
Yes.
copy, you can get great results. And if CNN accepts your press release,
Right?
that means the quality of writing is awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It takes a yeah, it takes a bit of practice to kind of like figure it out and compare of like what you're asking, what you're putting in versus what you're getting back and how you're going to use that. So it does take practice. And I don't know if you do, but I use AI as well for some like video editing tools because it will pull out like it'll find like little snippets or sound bites that are from the episode that I can use. Some are great and some are like, that's not really like a good nugget of information that I would want to share. So it's kind of like hit and miss, but it does save me time.
Mhm. You know, you remind me a story. Once I asked one of our authors to film a few short videos about trading, his methods of trading, and he's great. He posts content on Investopedia, many big websites, but he lives in Pakistan. And the pronunciation even worse than mine. And when he filmed this video, that was terrible. I asked him, can you train a little bit to improve the way of
Mm.
speaking? And after a few hours, he sent me a video with clear female voice. I asked, it's not you. He replied, no, it's me. No, no, it's not you because it's female voice. And he replied, oh, no, no, it's not my voice. It's AI. So,
That's so weird.
yeah, and that was great voice. I was shocked. Whoa, how you did it? You're a man with terrible voice in Pakistan, but he made
Yeah,
clear a female voice.
that's crazy. It
So
is weird what you can like it amazes me when you hear some stories and you're like, that's from AI. You're like, what?
yeah, yeah. Lindsay, I wanna ask about your experience. I always ask this question because I have students in my network who wanna start from scratch. I have customers who want to get the basic because I found we get great results with customers who understand what content quality means. So if customers don't understand,
Mm,
it's hard to get results because most results depend not on experts. It depends on companies, who want to get this content. And I wanna ask you, let's imagine you started today without any skills, knowledge. You didn't create any piece of content. Of course, you wrote some words in school, but you need to learn how to create high quality content. What will you do today if you start from scratch?
I think it's really smart to look at industry leaders that are out there, even your competitors. And like in YouTube, you can see like their videos, how many views they have, what topics are hot, what are not. Um, and then like when you're doing like a search about a certain topic that relates to your industry, then look at those articles because clearly they're getting ranked. So therefore they're on the top first page. And then checking that out to kind of gauge, okay, I'm going to need to talk about this, or I'm going to need to format it this way. And just kind of doing a little R&D, honestly, to see what other people are doing. Not that you want to copy them, you just want to ideas of like your topics, delivery, how you're formatting, and just actually care about the people that are listening, or your audience, so that you're giving them content that they want, that will solve a problem for them, versus your own agenda. um that's what I would do in the beginning, and just do it. Like, the first piece of content you're going to put out, the first podcast I ever did, first video that I ever did, oh my god, what an embarrassment. Like, it's just brutal, but it's like you get better over time, right? And you just have to start and know it's gonna suck and then
Yeah,
just get better.
I agree. I think if you do anything from the first time, it's terrible. Always
Oh, I
terrible.
know.
You can't beat people who spend years to craft
Yeah.
on their skills. So yeah, I agree. Lindsay, and my final question about the future. I wanna ask you, take your crystal ball and let us know what kind of future will be in content marketing. Many things are coming, technologies are growing fast. Apple is going to launch headset, augmented reality. Facebook tried to create virtual reality. I think other companies can do this in the future. We'll see, I don't know. But anyway, technologies are growing. Can you
Mm.
tell what kind of future will be in your vision and how we can adapt to this possible future?
That's a great question. um I feel like Facebook is, from a business perspective, gonna go downhill. LinkedIn is growing because it feels like it's more of the personal connections. And I feel like out there that people are getting tired of the hustle of the launches and challenges and Facebook ads and like all of that. And I feel like people are leaning more into like relationships, collaborations, really the who you know, and growing those relationships in order to grow your business, referrals, and being vulnerable and authentic, and just kind of like I'm hoping that, like, going back to basics, right? Like, I almost feel like we're going the wrong way. It's like, oh my god, you have to be on TikTok, you have to be here, you got to learn AI, like Facebook ads. Like, I'm like, it's enough to make your head spin. Like, you can't be everything everywhere. And so I'm feeling a ton of resistance out there, and that people are looking to like really simplify and kind of go back to relationships and collaborating, and yeah, and out of launch mode. That's what I feel like. Whether I'm right or not, who knows?
Yeah, I agree. I'm so terrible to forecast the future. I tried a few times with crypto and failed. So
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I got strong feeling that crypto will go up. It went down. So I,
I know.
but I know one thing. It's important to adapt fast because most people don't.
Yeah.
If you marketers on TV and radio didn't lose their jobs, they adapted to digital. Whatever future will bring, if you adapt faster than others, you will be fine.
Yeah.
If you are not, then others can beat you in one side. Like today, people can lose jobs because of AI. It's true. And companies can fire people at scale because of AI. I did it because if I can save like 20K with translation, and we tested translation on ChatGPT and hired people, manage them, to
Mhm.
check them, and ChatGPT can provide better results for a few seconds than a team of people. And we got traffic from Japan, from Turkey, Arabic countries because of translation with
I
ChatGPT.
know.
Yeah. So, but if someone lost job, you need to adapt. From
Scary.
engineers today can earn crazy money. And for example, if you ask me to write great content about accounting, I can't. And if you have experience with one topic, if you have skills, you can set up right prompts, you can edit results. But if you have no experience, companies still need people who can manage the process. It's like a
Yeah.
tractor. When farmers got first tractor, what they started, people who can drive the tractor, they can beat someone who can dig, manually. So yeah,
You do have to adjust. I mean, I know like copywriters were freaking out with the AI type stuff, like, oh my God, I'm going to be replaced. But really, people that I'm going to give an example, use it for show notes, they may be taking work away from this one group. But I also know clients that want a more custom written piece that is like SEO rich, or they're going to slice and dice it and use it in different ways. So they want more of a boutique experience, so to speak, that is not generic. So they want a different service. So maybe that copywriter then it's like, okay, I'm going to do this instead of this. And now some of these people have shifted down this way, as an example. So you just have to pivot slightly. I know some writers that are like, hey, I'll take your AI and I'll like humanize it. Yeah. Or there's like, maybe you do this and you can do XYZ. And maybe before you didn't want to, but now you're like, maybe I'm going to have to like step out a little bit and do more of this or more of this. So you do have to kind of like have a little bit more of an open mind, a creative brain, and kind of pivot a little bit on what your business is.
yeah, awesome. Love it, Lindsay. It's a big pleasure to get on the show. I love
Thanks
it.
for having me.
So valuable, fun, valuable. Tell the best way how to keep learning from you, how to reach out to you, how to follow you.
Yeah, then go to smoothbusinesspodcasting.com. And of course, I have a page full of resources and my podcast leverage system, and lots of different tools that they can check out.
Nice. I'm going to listen your podcast because I need
Thank
more
you.
volume. Guys, I recommend to anyone to subscribe to podcast, to follow Lindsay on LinkedIn. Keep learning because you can
Mhm.
become much better content creator. Okay, guys, love you. See you.
Bye.